Hey, welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Gear. I'm Tony, and today we have another unboxing video for you. Stay tuned. So today this arrived in the mail. This is a pretty huge Amazon box, and it's got something interesting in it that I want to share with you guys. This, if I'm not mistaken, is an acoustic guitar that I purchased off Donner Deals on Amazon, and it finally arrived today. So I want to do an unboxing video so we can see what's what with these super affordable acoustic guitars together in live time. So if I have a surprise, you have a surprise. So let's get cracking on this. Let's open up the box and see if we could try and do this without making too much of a mess. I'm gonna start off by opening the outer box. Whenever you get a guitar, especially an acoustic guitar, I'm always a little bit worried that it's gonna arrive messed up in one way or another. But hopefully it's been double boxed and double boxed in a nice way. I can see that it is double boxed, and I'll see if I can pull out the interior box. It's funny because the inside box has a fragile do not drop label on it, while the exterior box doesn't. So I don't know how that's supposed to help things. Okay, so here we are. The interior box is a typical Donner box. Let's open it up and see what's what. What's inside this thing. Every time I open these boxes, for some reason, I get like the sneezes. I think it's just an accumulation of dust for some reason. Now, the guitar, as you can see, has arrived inside some kind of a case. Or a case. It's not really a case. It's a bag. It's arrived in some kind of a bag, and we'll, if I can take out all this, take out all this protective plastic, you can have a look at it. The bag is pretty nice. It's got a little foot there on the bottom so you can rest it on the ground. It seems to be padded a little bit. It's got some nice little shoulder straps here. It's got a little padded handle and a bag, a Velcro pocket. Now there's nothing in there, and that's the bag. And before we open up the guitar, let's have a look at this. It also came in the package, so there's a whole bunch of goodies here in a little Ziploc bag. So let's have a look at that before we actually open up the guitar case. So the first thing I'm pulling out is a Donner tuner with the battery in there. So that's cool. You can clip it on the headstock. We'll probably use it when we tune up the guitar, because I'm pretty certain the guitar won't be in tune. We have a little scratch plate. So I guess this is a peel and stick scratch plate that we can put on the guitar so that you know, you don't scratch the surface of the guitar. That's always handy to have. We have acoustic, Donner branded acoustic guitar strings. They're what are they? 12s to 53s. I'm just curious. I want to open up this thing because I haven't ever seen Donner acoustic strings. Well, they come in individually packaged bags, but there's no like fancy packaging. It's basically the box and that's it. So I don't know how good these strings are, but heck, it's fine to be able to go through a couple of packs of strings before you have to get serious and buy some good ones. What else we have here? We have a guitar capo or capo. I never really know how to pronounce that. Capo, capo. If you guys can tell me. Maybe it's capo. Anyways, so we have a capo. It's always good to have an extra one. I have a couple lying around, but I keep on losing them, so it's nice to have an extra set. Then what do we have here? We have a little micro mesh Donner cleaning pad, so you can get to clean the strings, clean the surface of your guitar. That's always nice. Keep things helps to keep things from getting too greasy, you know. And then we have a guitar strap, and it's basically one of those seatbelt type straps with Donner written on the little tab that wraps around the guitar strap. It does the job. We have a couple of cute little guitar picks. Yeah, that's nice. Can you see that? That's pretty cool. Nice set of four guitar picks. Allen wrench that we can use to adjust the neck. Now, let's get to the moment that we've all been waiting for. Oh, and the mystery continues. Check this out. Well, at least they wrapped it properly. I can't say that they didn't take care in making sure that the guitar was not damaged in any way during shipping. They definitely wrapped it well. Man, I'm gonna have to clean up a lot of stuff after this. Now, this guitar is the electric acoustic from Donner. Now you can see this on the strings. I'll take this off for you. This is just to keep the strings fresh. And of course there's a little tag. Before we remove the tag, let me give you a quick look-see on the guitar so you can take a look at it at the same time as me, front and back. The back of the guitar body looks really nice. Satin. I like that a lot. So far so good. Visually it looks pretty nice. Now let me just pull off this string on the tuning peg. And there's also a little plastic cover here so that you don't get like spiders and termites and earwigs in the guitar. So I'm going to pull that off. And at first glance, what can I see right off the bat here? Now, the neck is usually what I like to look at first. The frets are not bad in terms of fret sprout. They may be a little sharp, but nothing too dangerous. That's pretty good. The neck feels great in terms of the profile on the neck. I like that. The frets are a little thin. I would have preferred to see some frets that were slightly thicker than that, but it's not too bad for an acoustic guitar. I like the satiny feel of it. The top seems pretty plain Jane in terms of grain. There's not a whole lot of grain in it. And the rosette around the hole, it looks to be like they just burned it in. It's not any kind of, I don't know if you can see it here. It's not any kind of inlay. It's just like they burnt a pattern into the wood. But you know what? For the amount of money that this guitar costs, under $200, I'm not surprised. And that doesn't really bother me. I'm just looking at the quality of the finish in terms of the inlays. The inlays around the top are pretty nice, and nothing feels out of place with the inlays. Like I said, the back of the body is really nice. Look at that grain. Can you see that? Super nice. Of course, we have the place where we would put the battery. Now, I don't know if it came with a battery in here. So there's no battery installed. I'm going to install a 9-volt battery. We have the standard jack, and then we have a balance jack as well. Of course, we have the little pins to attach the strap. And here we have the controls for the electronics, and they look pretty cool. And they have so you have a master volume, phase, you have presence, treble, mid, bass, then you have the power button, and you have the tuner for the pitch and the note. So I'm curious to see how that works. You can see that the neck has the joints there, but the actual neck seems to be nicely inlaid and glued. There's no issues here, and that's where I usually see some problems. And the tuners look to be like standard tuners, nothing to write home about, but they're all black, which is cool. And the front of the headstock has the Donner logo filled with some kind of, I guess, a plastic resin or something like that, and then they sanded it down so it has a little bit of a relief there. The saddle seems to be plastic as well, so obviously that can be upgraded if you want to change it to a bone saddle and a bone nut. You probably get better sound quality. The bridge seems to be glued down nicely. There's no hump on the top, which is usually an indication of too much stress on the bridge. So we don't have that. We don't see that there. Now I use these thick picks when I play electric guitar. These are Ernie Ball Prodigy picks. They're not ideal for acoustic. Okay. Definitely out of tune. Okay, I'm gonna have to tune up, and then we can strum a couple of chords. So give me a second, I'll tune up, and then we can at least give it a... Okay, yeah, definitely needs a tune. I'm gonna use my Snark just because it already has a battery in it, and the other one I would have to pull it out of the packaging and everything. So let me... Somebody was playing drop D over at Customs with the guitar. And when we tune, we'll get a better idea of how well the tuners hold the pitch. And if they slide or slip. So far, so good. The tuners don't feel loose. Which is great. Now, of course, these are new strings, so they have to be stretched out. So they're gonna go out of tune quite easily when I strum right now. And that's not unusual. So the other thing I want to look at with this guitar is the neck, and to see the relief on the neck. Now, this neck basically has too little relief. The actual neck does not have much relief, so I'm going to have to adjust that. I will definitely have to adjust that on the guitar, but at the same time, here, let me just strum. Not bad. I mean, I don't hear any buzzing, but the action is pretty high, though. I would say the action is a good, I don't have a measuring tool here, but it's got to be at least on the 12th fret, I would say close to 1/8 of an inch, maybe even 1/4 of an inch, which is kind of too high. So what I'll probably do is I'll end up taking the bridge and just filing it down so I can bring the action down after I adjust the neck. As far as the string height goes on the nut side of things, they seem to be adjusted okay. So I don't want to get penalized by YouTube. So I'm going to stop right there. Sounds pretty good. Let me put in a battery in here. Let's have a look, see. Let's do the old tongue test. Pretty weak. Do I have another battery? There we go, got a battery. I'm gonna just put one in for you guys so that we can actually see whether or not the electronics work on this thing, because the last thing I want is a guitar that has defects in the electronics. Then we gotta send it back, and that's a big pain. Now the cool thing about this guitar is that it's under 200 bucks. And honestly, being able to find a decent acoustic guitar for under 200 bucks is a real challenge these days. I purchased this for my daughter, and I figured it would make a good starter guitar. So, okay, the battery's in there, and okay, so it turned on, great, that's a good sign. And I'm gonna compare it to my Snark. Seems to be pretty accurate, and it's nice. So when you tune the guitar, you have a little arrows that show the sharp and flat, and when it's in tune, the center LED basically goes on. There you go, that's in tune-ish, and then you have the little needle representation there too, which is cool. Okay, so you can change the pitch from, let's say, 440 to 442, 445, whatever you need it to be. And then you can also, I think, change and tune to different tunings, so G and A and E and whatever. That's nice. Now I won't be able to test the volume and it plugged in just yet. I'm gonna do that when I do the full review, but I just wanted to show you the unboxing just to give you a taste. We didn't talk about the neck. The neck of the guitar is really dark wood. I don't know what it is. I'm curious, but it doesn't look like rosewood to me. It looks like it could be some sort of ebony. Not really sure. I gotta check the specs on that. We can see that they have the adjustment for the truss rod right in there, and I can definitely see on the inside of the guitar, you probably can't, but I could, that there's adequate bracing. Turn on a light here. I don't know if you can see on the inside, but you can see that there's bracing that goes all around it. Cross bracing on the guitar. No crazy glue, so it's quite good. Neatly done, at least as neat as I've seen on other guitars. Now the top of the guitar seems to be, and I'm looking at it from the side here, seems to be a solid piece, and it's not a laminated top, which is really cool to see, because usually guitars at this price range have laminated tops. The sides are probably laminated, but the top is not, which is pretty nice to see. And this model is the DAG-1CE for any of you that are interested. Oh, that was my finger, not the guitar. Pretty nice. Rings out nice. Rich sound. I don't know what kind of strings these are, but definitely a string upgrade would probably be in the works eventually. But as far as the body and the woods, super happy with it. I think my daughter's going to be happy with it too. I would just do a slight file down on the frets maybe, just to get them a little bit more comfortable. I usually do that on my guitars anyway, and like I said, possibly lower the action a little bit by filing down the bridge saddle here. But everything else seems cool. I like it. There's no messy glue as far as I can see. Everything seems to be nice, and again, it's I mean, I'm a little rusty on that song, but yeah, definitely sounds like a keeper to me. The headstock also, I like the fact that the headstock is quite simple. Just a little rounded top, and that's all that basically is required. The neck slab of wood that they're using is pretty nice and thick, and then the inlays are just imitation mother of pearl. But some of the guitars that I've tried that are a lot more expensive than this one don't even have inlays. I like it. I'm giving this guitar a thumbs up initially. We're going to see how well it holds up over time. Usually acoustic guitars tend to mature, I guess you want to call it that. The woods tend to dry out and age nicely, and they tend to sound better over time as they age. So I'm curious to see how this one's going to age and fare up against some of my other acoustic guitars. I tell you what, I'm probably going to do another video for those of you interested in a comparison. Maybe I'll take this guitar compared to my Martin, which is a higher end guitar, of course, and a mid-priced, well, actually a lower mid-priced Yamaha guitar. And we can compare all three of them and just compare them on tone alone, not necessarily features. Maybe I'll do a blind shootout between the three, and then you can tell me which one you prefer. And it'd be pretty funny if you prefer this one over my Martin. Then I would kind of have to sell the Martin, I guess. But initially, I'm liking this guitar a lot, and I think my daughter's going to be super happy with this. I like the cutout because it allows me to get access to the upper frets. But if you're interested in the ones that are traditional without the cutout, you can definitely check those out as well. Some people prefer those, and some people also prefer the ones that do not have any electronics on them. And I can't speak for the electronics at this point because I don't know how well they work, and I would have to check that out. But I definitely think that having the ability to have electronics as well as an acoustic sound is basically the best of both worlds. So that's it, guys. If you're interested in this Donner guitar, you know where to go get it. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link to the seller page down below. It's a very cool acoustic electric guitar that you can pick up for not too much money, only I think about 180 bucks or something like that, and that's Canadian dollars. So a very affordable version of an acoustic guitar with a solid top and some pretty nice features. More than enough to get anyone started. So there you go, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another unboxing video right here on Addicted to Gear. Stay tuned and keep rocking because there's going to be more great videos coming your way.